Hey everybody, just wanted to give you a heads up in this video that at about the 26-minute mark, the rest of the video is some analysis I got from YouTube AI about my channel and about what I do. I thought it was really interesting. I'd love to hear your comments and feedback. YouTube is telling me that I need to have more interesting thumbnails, and I basically need to lie to you, clickbait titles, whatever. You're really going to enjoy some of the questions I asked it and some of the answers that I got back. In the comments below, leave your opinion. I'd love to hear what you think. I know that I'm not going to change how people view my videos. I do these long, detailed videos on this rebuild because I want people to understand what it takes to do this, and I want them to understand how to do their own. And so I'm not going to change my format. I don't care what YouTube says. If I can't even bust 10,000 views on a video anymore, I just really don't care, because I really value the friendships that I've made through YouTube. I value the stuff that you send me, the advice you give me. Hell, I've bought a lot of equipment because you've put me onto some Facebook marketplace ad or whatever. I've bought 2 sets of D9 tracks through that. It's just been absolutely amazing, the amount of stuff that you've sent me. Right now, you're watching me on a tripod a guy sent me a lot of stuff, and I really appreciate that. And I know people want to help me, and I appreciate that. So maybe I need to bring the Sunshine Girls back. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Enjoy the video. So this is the fuel system off a D353 out of a D9H. There's nothing on here you can lift by hand. Well, okay, maybe bolts and covers and the transfer pump, but the rest of it extremely heavy. Oh, good Lord. What a job. So there's a right way and a wrong way to apply silicone. Now, I realize these are old parts and they may have had gaskets scraped off of them a lot, and somebody may have taken a roll lock disc to them. I don't know if it was just standard procedure for this mechanic to cover crap in silicone. He must have run out of blue, got him a tube of red on this one. But when you start squeezing stuff out on the inside, that's bad news, because there's no reason to do that. If you're going to apply silicone, this is the tool you need right here. And when I do it, I cut this tip off just till I can start to see a hole there. Very, very small hole. I place this silicone into this deal. This is awesome because you can control it. So when you're putting this on, if you really need silicone, put it out here in a super, super small bead, because you don't need it in here. You really don't. And the weird thing is they've used silicone out here, but in here, you see this stuff? This is some kind of I don't know if that's like a Permatex sealant, some of that black tar looking stuff. And then they put the silicone. So a lot of the components I've taken apart on here have just had this on both sides. And boy, they're stuck. I mean, stuck bad. Some of them I've actually had to take a wire wheel and wear them out. So here's the other problem with using some kind of an adhesive that dries hard. So in order to get this stuff off, you literally have to wear it out. You're taking it off in layers because it's just not going to cut through that. You just literally go down through till you get to that. So you're saying, Jeff, what makes you an expert on silicone? Well, I've got all these old machines that have been taken apart a million times and have damaged surfaces. So I have learned how to apply silicone. And the few times that I've taken like oil pans back off and other things, you just don't see silicone squeezed out in blobs all over. And when, I hate to belabor this, but when you see blobs like that pushed out, that means that somebody's just putting it on, daubing it on, or smearing it with their finger if you don't get an even application. And that's why I use that tool, and I cut a really small hole in the tube. There's my rant. I mean, I just hate the fact that whoever did this used cement. Cement's for your driveway, for gluing shit together that's never going to come apart again, not for this kind. Don't use it on a damn gasket. It just does damage. It's just stupid. Stupid. There's so many pieces, parts, and stuff to this fuel system. And there's the two main components. The drive section that goes on the back of the motor. Look at the size of that shaft. And then it drives the pump with 4 little 3/8 bolts right there. But even the pump housing, I may need help to get that up on the bench so I can disassemble all that. I didn't really want to do anything with this fuel system, but here's my concern: is every bearing and bushing I've taken out of anything shows signs of antifreeze in it. All of them. Like that. They're just flaking off. This one isn't too bad. It's got some wear marks here, concentrated. But it's just, here's the oil pump drive bushings. They're horrible because they were right down in it. So I didn't want to do it, but I know if I didn't, I'd regret it. So I'm doing it. So here's a good example of nobody's used any nasty cements on this gasket. I don't know if you can see it in the reflection, but this surface is beautiful. You can still see the original machine marks in it. It didn't take much to clean it up. Gasket came right off. Most of it pulled off with my hands. So, this won't get sealant. I will not put sealant on this. There's no reason. It's nice, good, clean surface. This is the housing that holds the drive assembly for the fuel pump. So I have tapped all the holes. I have run brushes till I'm blue in the face. I've gone inside with Scotch-Brite and a solvent, cleaned it up, took it outside, wire wheeled the paint off of it. This whole side had never been painted. It was rusty. And then I washed it down with some lacquer thinner, and no black came out. So that's a plus. So I'm getting ready to bag it, Dano. Piece of cake. What do you guess? Probably a week. It's like overhauling a small engine. And everything's heavy as hell. Would you look at that? This cover had no leaks, no sealant. Look at that. Would you look at that? Holy cow. Ain't that special? Okay, so this is the inside. So this is the rack, and these are the pumps. So if you put one together and your teeth are not in line, you'll either not be able to go full throttle or you'll not be able to get it to shut off. And these are the yokes right here that you're gonna adjust for your individual timing. So we're going old school here. So they had these. Then they went to the, I don't know if you'd call it new scroll, but those systems, like in the 343s, had the injector went down the hole, and where the seat, the ledge of it, where it was bored inside, there's a washer, kind of like a pre-cup washer, and they make them in different sizes. And you'd have to have a degree wheel, and you'd get it up to where it was supposed to be and measure that, and depending on what you found would determine the thickness of the washer that goes in there to move the pump. There was no fine adjustment like these. And I guess it was at the time they didn't have the ability to machine all those within an exact spec. And then when they came out with the newer scroll, like on my 3306B, so those you don't have to mess with any of that. You can just put them in. So these teeth move in and out of the rack, up and down and wear here. But the place you got to really look is between these sockets in here, these yokes, because when they get wore, you can get a gap and it doesn't pull the plunger all the way down, and then you can't get the full injection fuel. Anyway, this don't run real smooth. I don't know why. Feels like it's gummed up, and it is. There's all kinds of soot. I mean, that's what it looks like in there, because you don't change the oil. And you don't have a switchblade turby. Holy crap, look at that junk. Look at that crap. No sealant on the gasket. That's sweet. Fuel guys do not use silicone, I promise you. No fuel guy is going to use silicone in assembling a pump. They're just not. It's the law. They get caught using silicone, they're fired with real fire. Camshaft looks good. Nice cams. Ooh, nice cams. So you only got 3 bearings in here. So next step, it's not flat on the bottom, so it's not like I can roll this thing up. I'm gonna go put these in the parts washer. Alright, so now I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have to tip him up here. I don't really want to put it in the vise, but that'd probably be the best thing in the world to do, is to put this girl in the vise. Let's see if Jeff can herniate himself putting this in the vise. Oh. Okay, we're in the vise, Captain. Alright, so now we got to take all these bolts out. So I'm going to need to put this back where because that word pattern on the splinter seat. So I'll probably have marker first, and I'll make something like put the bags in the room. It's your marker, I'll have to wash it. It's going to get washed. Okay. Let's take number one out of there. So, here's the problem though. I think I'm gonna take this out and the plunger's gonna stay with it. That's the barrel. And the plunger's right here. And I need to get it so the cam isn't pushing on it. I think. Get it all the way down. It's down. And I don't know if I can turn the lift or not. Somehow you have to get the... there we go. You slide it over. And there you go. Now I'm not going to shove it back in there because I just put my dirty fingers all over it. So let's take a jeweler's eyepiece and have a look and see what kind of shape these are in. Now, these plungers are massive. These are huge. These look really, really good. Really good. So somebody has replaced all this. Now, how much of the fuel system did they do? I don't know. So here is what it looks like. So there's your lifter and there's your little socket deal. All right, so in order to get the camshaft out, I have to take all of these yokes off of here. Then I have to get a bolt and a washer or something. There's a special tool they made, goes over that. And because there's a spring on this down inside here and it's pushing it down, and it's a roller lifter on the cam, so you can't pull the cam out. You have to tighten that bolt down till it sucks this lifter up. Do it to all of them. Then you can go ahead and pull the cam out. Then undo your bolts and drop your roller lifters out the bottom. So I gotta figure out, I'm gonna have to take all these off. And it says to mark them, so it goes back. And I guess I'll determine that when I get the first one off. I'll see how bad the seats were. If it's really bad, I'm gonna have to see if those are still available and replace them. Now these plungers look to me like they're all brand new. They're really, really good condition. So that mark right there has to line up on this rack, and there's a mark on the rack. Unfortunately, yeah, there they are, right there. You can see them. This thing is so gummed up and filthy, it's just unbelievable. And this was the plate off the bottom. Look at the junk. Look at the sludge. That's horrible. Good thing I took it apart, eh? So you need 6 bolts They're going to be 3/8 fine threads. They're going to be 3 inches long. And then you put down a 3/4 washer, a 1/2 inch washer, and a 3/8 washer. And then tighten that up and pull that up so the roller's not touching the cam. Just, I hate to beat on this, but do you see this big black thing right there? Look at that. That is sludge. So I will go to Western in the morning because we don't have a bolt store in Blackfoot. Ain't nowhere. We used to have a Fastenal, but after COVID and stuff, they wouldn't even let you go around in the bolt bins and get what you needed. You had to wear a mask. They're freaks. Some kind of freaks. So we don't have a bolt store, so I got to go to Cat. Get some bolts. All right, so there's always more than one way to skin a cat. The dealer did not have the bolts it calls for, and it calls for 3-inch bolts. But really you need 4 if you're going to pull these lifters up from 0. Meaning they're all the way down. And then when you go to take them out, you need that length so they don't go flying, and you go to put it back together, you got plenty of thread to pull them up in. So I just had a piece of ready rod, and I just cut 3-4 inch chunks. And this one's out. You can see how much it pulled it up. It's pretty simple to do. Just go like that, and the old lifter comes right up. And I don't know how far you got to go up for those to clear the lobes, but that should be plenty right there. That's actually, I might have to go up a little more on this one. That's up higher than the one that's already at maximum lift right now, this one. So it's got to do that 4 more times. Now, if the camshaft turns easily, yes, it does. Look at this. Wow, that'd come. I don't understand that. Huh? Okay. I see. So we just need to take this off. We should be able to pull the cam out. Alright, so technically I should be able to hold the cam back here and then do it here. Oh boy, that's not even tight. That would be tight. And then remove the lock. Where did my screwdriver go? Don't want to come off. What the heck? There we go. Unlock. Okay, now I'm guessing should go that way. Yes, that's loose. Now it's got a one-way gizmer on it. That there, and then that's in the housing, that's bushing, I do believe. Okay, one camshaft all removed. One cam. Nice cams, Jeff. Nice cams. All right, let's have a look, see. What do you see on these lobes? I see absolutely normal wear, just shiny. Check all of them. See what we got here. They seem to all look really good. Really good. Alright, so those lifters were pretty easy to get out. So, as you can see, they have a flat side on both sides, so they can't rotate, turn sideways. Of course, all the roller lifters are going to have to be like that. These rollers look really good. Now, these are scratched, so whether or not they... I don't know. I highly doubt that they got into any of this stuff. All they did was put injection pumps in it. But that's the spring that goes up in there, and so you've always got positive pressure down on the cam. So that's why I had to put that bolt in there. Ready rod. Okay, ready rod. So this is, I don't know, that looks like a aluminium. And this, see, these are, so these barrels are fairly scored, but you can't feel like a ridge on them. But, you know, you look at the spring, and yeah, it's crapped up with that good old black oil. Damn it. Every time I go in the house, I keep saying, don't forget to get some bags when you come back out, and I keep forgetting. So, measured the inside of the bearings, and I've got 1/1000 of wear. You're allowed up to 6. So I'm going to go ahead and reuse the bearings. I've washed it and then blew it dry, and I can still see some black in places that I'm going to have to go after. But at this point, I am ready to take this out and get this all cleaned up. So I'm cleaning up the injector pumps. They were installed brand new, no paint. So I cleaned those all up, and then I'll be taking them over here to the solvent tank to clean them all up good and clean, make sure I get all the junk out of them. So you've been watching through this series how I've taken everything and sandblasted it and wire wheeled it and cleaned it up really nice, just like I did the N14, so I can get a good permanent paint job on it, because these engines and these old D9s they'll last 20,000 hours, and you know, that's gonna last me my lifetime and probably my boy's lifetime, but probably won't be able to get parts for them. And 10-15 more years, they're just going to be museum pieces. So I figure, you know, if I fix this one up really nice, I'm not going to need anything for it. But one of the interesting things I've been observing is the amount of views that I get on my videos. I often wonder if I'm too detailed, so I'm going to need your input here. You can put it down in the comment section below what you think, and be honest. I seem to lose people with these more detailed long form videos, but the reason I do them is I have a lot of guys that are always after me, emailing me or messaging me through one platform or another, and they've got a problem or they're building one, and so I do these detailed ones so I can just point them to these videos so they can watch. see what I'm doing. And this doesn't apply just to D9s. This applies to a myriad of anything older cat, you know, and the necessity to be clean. And if you want it to last a long time, do it right. I do get a lot of people that, you know, think that I'm probably going overboard here, but this thing hasn't been painted correctly since it left the factory. And when I've taken a piece of equipment like my scraper or Killdozer, YouTube wasn't around when I did Killdozer, but I did this same thing right here. I just went through everything. Killdozer has a lot of hours on it now. It's been, oh my gosh, 25 years since I did what I'm doing here. And it just runs and runs and runs. Now, yeah, I had to put a undercarriage on it, did a final drive, just stuff like that, which, you know, that stuff happens. So here I'm washing this up, and you'll notice I take a brush and run in there make sure to keep it clean very gently. At the top of that is a check valve that keeps fuel from running back. So what I'm doing is depressing that check valve up and down to make sure there's no particles under it. And after I wash it with the solvent, I'll spray it off with ether, blow dry it, go put it on the bench on a clean paper towel. Everything's in numbered bags so it goes back where it is so it can go together absolutely clean. So the other day I was messing with YouTube AI, and I asked it this question. I said, has shorts ruined people's attention span? And this is their response. That is a fascinating and very common question to the creator community. Well, the idea that short form video has ruined, in quotation marks, attention spans is a popular theory. A more helpful way to look at that is viewer habits have evolved. Well, they've evolved because of shorts, and that competition for their time is higher than ever. It is not necessarily a loss of attention span, but a change in what viewers expect from content and how quickly they decide whether to stick around. Here's a breakdown of how evolving viewer habits impact your content strategy. So they go through some things: engagement, satisfaction, appeal. The rise of shorts has simply amplified the importance of the appeal and engagement factors by training viewers to make a rapid decision. See, and that's my whole thing. Shorts have trained people not to watch unless it's something titillating. And it goes through a whole bunch of other stuff. You got to have a master the hook appeal, deliver value, engagement, and subscribers. Use shorts as a discovery tool. And so I said, viewer habits have evolved. Isn't that just doublespeak? For shorts have ruined people's attention span. And they said that is a fair and important challenge, and one that is at the heart of the current creator landscape. And they go on to say that it's the new price of admission. So, because shorts have dumbed people down, Facebook has dumbed people down, Instagram has dumbed them down, the whole system seems to be set up like they did for porn. It's just, you got to see something new and more exciting, and if it's not more titillating, people move on. So they said it's tempting to use the word ruined, but that implies permanent cognitive change. Well, it has, and there's studies that show that. A better perspective, and one supported by your channel's own performance, is that the abundance of high-speed content has simply made the audience less tolerant of slow starts. It hasn't destroyed their ability to focus. It has just raised the price of admission for their focus. So I've noticed that a lot of you come back and you always comment, and I appreciate that. It says, here's the data for your latest video. Looks like we 28 minutes ahead of schedule. Illustrates about this high bar for attention. So it goes through, you know, the click rate, high appeal, the engagement challenge. Then it says the new tax on attention. So it started out good, but it said the first minute and 44 seconds of the video is filled with B-roll music and sound clips. That's not true. Anyway, in today's competitive landscape, most 2 minutes of ramp-up time before delivering the main topic is a very long ask of casual viewer. So, really, anyway, it goes on and on. So I said, that's my whole point. Shorts have dumbed people down to the point where they're just looking for the next mindfuck. And they said, I can't help you with that. Can you try something else? So I took out the swear word, and I said, that's my whole point. Shorts have dumbed people down to the point where they're just looking for the next mind tease. I can't help you with that. So I said, I see a lot of creators using thumbnails with silly expressions or almost clickbait titles. Is that something that attracts viewers? They said, that's an insightful question about the current trends on YouTube. You're pointing to the central challenge for all creators, how to generate the initial click appeal in crowd space. The short answer is yes. Those tactics are designed to attract viewers, but they are only half of the strategy. So it goes on all this other nonsense, and it says the role of silly expressions and clickbait, emotional faces, a person's face expressing surprise, confusion, or excitement creates instant curiosity and makes the video feel personal, driving clicks. The trick is making sure the emotion is authentic. So here we go. We're trying to trick you into watching our videos. Intriguing titles. So this is what it suggested. Use a title that focuses on the drama of the job, like a time crunch or massive failure. So here's the suggestion for a title for me. The massive mistake we made on the 336 excavator job. What mistake? I don't recall making a mistake. I got to tell you I made a mistake to get you to watch? I don't think so. So I asked it about my D9H engine build and asked it why it wasn't getting good views. And it says to repackage it, maybe do the whole thing and then just put it in one long thing. But I don't want to do that because I want people to learn and see what it takes to do this. It's like that one video I posted a long time ago. I don't think people liked it, but it had a voiceover in it that said,
problem's not that you're poor, it's just you suck at being poor. If you want nice shit, you're just gonna have to take some old shit.
the problem isn't that you're poor, it's that you suck at being poor. And you know, it just goes through what you got to do to take old shit and make it nice shit. Well, that's what I do. And so I'm trying to provide you know, a lesson in how you take old shit and make it nice shit. Anyway, that's enough of that. I've got pages and pages of this I printed off because I must ask it questions for an hour. And it just pointed back to like right here what you're seeing. So here I am trying to get the rust out of all these little crevices and stuff. And this segment of the video is only part of it, but I must have spent an hour or more getting this cleaned up. Waste of time? Not to me. I want my shit nice. I want this to be a forever thing. I don't ever plan on getting back into this. So anyway, you may not realize it, but shorts and these other quick fixes are exactly how the porn industry repackaged their stuff. Because the human mind, when it starts participating in that kind of stuff where it just needs another quick fix all the time, experts will tell you Facebook was really smart in how they packaged and developed Facebook, because as you're finger effing the phone or whatever, you're just looking for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And if the title and thumbnail doesn't get your attention, you just keep scrolling. And I catch myself doing the same thing, but then sometimes I just think, yeah, I'll watch this. Let's see what it is. I might learn something. And I do. But had I not stopped myself and said, what am I doing here? You know? I'm only watching these stupid, useless videos that have somebody with their mouth open or something exploding in the background. Because I subscribe to some channels that do that, and I really like the channels before they started doing that. So I'm going through there and I'm like, wait a minute, where's the disaster? And it's nonsense. It doesn't deliver on that. And so in the long run, I just quit watching them. And every title I see that comes up, since I'm subscribed, I see the notification. And I see that title, and I see them standing there with their mouth open or something else, and I think, BS. This didn't really happen. They're just trying to get people to watch. And I think I even asked YouTube about that. And they said, yeah, long term, that's not good. You have to deliver on your BS title. And so you become a liar. So if I do a video that's a massive mistake we made on the 336 job, I'd have to manufacture something and lie to you. And I'm not going to do that. Now the other funny thing is it goes in and boy does it know me. And it mentioned that viewers appreciate my honesty and integrity. And really those are the only things you have in life, is your honesty and your integrity. If you're a liar and you just do stuff for money and clicks and crap, which that's not what I'm after. I just try to come to some understanding where I used to get 20, 30, 40, 50,000 views per video doing this kind of stuff, and now I can't bust 10,000. Well, I think it's because people are letting themselves fall into this nonsense where they just constantly gotta have some kind of titillation. And most of my viewers are over 45, and I've noticed through analytics the younger ones just click off. They've already been trained, they're ruined. Those of you that are older actually have an attention span, and I think most of you relate to this. And you're my faithful viewers because you've run this equipment, you've worked on it, you're familiar with it. This is interesting. And so that's why you stay. I don't know, you can tell me why you stay and watch, but at first I thought this YouTube AI thing, boy, that really helped. No, it contradicts itself constantly, and I could go into even more examples. I was watching one of Warren's videos, and I thought, well, I'll ask it to analyze Warren's video. And so I did, and it came back with a title that wasn't even the video I clicked in there. And it was one of Diesel Creek's videos. So I came back and I said, that's not one of Warren's videos, that belongs to Diesel Creek. Oh, I apologize. And then it came back, started talking about Matt's video again, and I'm like, no. I said, I think there's something wrong with you. And then it apologized again. Oh, my mistake. And I'm like, where did you come up with one of Matt's videos when I gave you the link to Warren's? And so at that point I just gave up and I decided it's nonsense. This AI stuff, especially YouTube's AI, is just set up to give you answers that they've told it to give you. I thought I could, eventually you just keep asking the same questions worded different. It starts telling you different stuff, and it contradicts itself. It's like a liar. A liar, too many lies, it can't keep them all straight. So anyway, that's enough of that. This is what it takes to take some old shit and make it nice shit. If you've watched to the end, congratulations. You're not a mind-numbed idiot from shorts and Facebook. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see y'all next time. You remember that rusty bugger? It's all clean. So I brushed everything. I tapped all the holes. Washed it with solvent. Took a Scotch-Brite hand pad up here to this to clean it off best as I can so you can do the measuring accurately. And then sprayed it off with lacquer thinner. So we're ready to bag this one, Dano.
See? Gotta one shit at a time. All right.